Obama, who has been known to be an ally, of hip hop. Every year, when he would always talk about, his favorite albums, he always had at least 2 to 3, hip hop albums listed. Well, he sat there recently, and did, he sat there recently to talk about many things, including hip hop. He sat there with Kendrick Lamar.
Yes.
And talked about, the whole culture. Just a lot of things, particularly hip hop. Needless to say, he's not a fan of what rap. See, I'm trying to be careful.
Nah, man, let that shit go.
No, the reason I'm trying to be careful because I don't know what he is trying to say.
Oh, I know.
You know what I'm saying? No, the reason being because we have to separate rap from hip hop, right? So basically, he said that he's not a fan of what hip hop has become, which to me I think is an unfair statement.
I think this is where there's a disconnect, and it happens all the time. You hear it all the time. To me, it's a disconnect. Would you say like about toxic masculinity? Is there something to that? Maybe. However, you're putting a blanket statement on hip hop, and truth be told, like as much as you see the younger generation, truth be told, they're a lot more open, especially when it comes to some of those issues. You see that, like, I know a lot of the older men, especially men, complain about the younger generation, how they dress, especially being quote unquote feminine, whatever. I get it. I'm just bringing up all these issues, but they seem to be more open to that. Like they seem to be more open. All I'm saying is that as much as I don't know, like it's a fine line. It's an evolving thing. LBG communities are strong, and a lot of the younger generation are more open to those issues. They just are. And this toxic masculinity, like, I get it. It's become like the niche thing to me.
Fuck that bullshit. Man, give me this goddamn walkie-talkie.
Real quick. And I'm sorry, it was not Kendrick Lamar. He spoke with Steph Curry. He said, what's that story? On stage with Steph Curry at the My Brothers Keeper Alliance Summit in Oakland, California.
Give me this goddamn walkie-talkie. Listen, Barack, you gonna get this work. I got all the smoke for your ass, Barack. Listen.
Oh, Lord.
The thing is, no. Fuck that. This is specifically Doc's Swag.
I'm gonna owe taxes this year. Damn it.
No. It's not about attacking him. It's about clarifying. It's about clarifying and getting the narrative correct. We all know that there are segments and partitions and sections and sectors of hip hop where, yes, there's booty shaking, there's drug dealing, and the explicit, demeaning, stereotypical bullshit within.
Real quick. How come that is only an issue within hip hop?
That's what I'm saying. So
how come that only gets brought up within hip hop?
So let me continue with this work. Right? Let me continue. I'm gonna say round one on his ass.
You go, Samori.
So
I just want to make that point.
We know that if Barack is a real fan of hip hop, he should know hip hop has so many different. It's like Voltron. You got so many parts to the body, and for you to have such an acclaim and a platform, a major platform, and then at the same time, when it was time for you to campaign, you had Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? You had Jay-Z riding shotgun with you when it was time to campaign. You had Killer Mike, you had T.I. You invited all of them to come to the White House for Brothers Keeper. These brothers spoke the same shit that you fucking are blasting. They also had in their lyrics and a lot of their music.
Well, so to be fair, maybe. You know, I'm always a kumbaya. All I'm saying is maybe the point is for people that look up to some of these guys, he is reaching out.
Get it out.
Oh my God, why are you smoking the blood? No, no. Anyway, or maybe the point is that if you look into the people that are looking up to these guys, letting them know it's more to life than this. It's more to this. So maybe that is open up, like it's more to it. But it just feels like so judgmental to make it seem like hip hop is the only thing, only genre, like only all that. But like I said, I guess that's maybe one of the points. Like, there's more to hip hop than this. You don't have to do, but it's not coming across like that.
Okay, so here's my piece, right? But rock is older than hip hop. Give or take a year or two, right? So he grew up with the African Bambaatas. You know what I'm saying? He grew up with
White grandparents.
You know what I'm saying? The South Bronx. He grew up with knowing what hip hop was. He saw the inception of hip hop. So if no one else but him should know, he should know what hip hop, the culture is about. That's why I said, I'm not sure if he's confusing current mainstream rap for hip hop, because his reference of toxic masculinity, that is just one. First of all, I've been saying this for a long time now. Hip hop is not sexist. Hip hop is not violent. Hip hop is not ratchet. Those three things are in hip hop. Hip hop is DJ. You know what I'm saying? That's not what hip hop is all about. So point out one thing. The most interesting thing you can point out, knowing where hip hop is all about, you are trying to minimize the premise of what hip hop was built on.
God damn it, I ain't done, but Rock, I still got smoke for your ass. Fuck that. My thing is this too. He has legitimate points now, because that type of stuff does exist. Yes, he is 100% correct. I speak out on that shit too, but like I said, I hate that lopsided, one-sided view. First of all, the other thing I want to talk about is this. How is it that you can call out the rappers, but you don't call out the motherfucking record industry executives? The niggas that bankroll the artists, the people that cut the checks, the people that finance, they subsidize, and they control the contracts. That give the people, the artists that do the booty shaking, that rap about selling guns, that rap about busting guns. How come you ain't coming for the executives and the labels that do that shit? You come for the artist, you come for the puppet, but you don't come for the puppet master. Get the fuck out of my face with that shit. Next, if you're a fan of hip hop, let's keep it coming. I got all the smoke for you, nigga. Now, if you're a fan of hip hop, and I said he's only talking about one section, then if you're gonna talk about that, talk about the brothers in hip hop that did good shit. Talk about Tribe Called Quest. Talk about Arrested Development. Talk about Public Enemy. Talk about Dead Prez. Talk about Immoral Technique. Talk about Common. Talk about Mos Def. Talk about Talib. Talk about Goody Mob. Talk about Fonte. Talk about KRS One. Talk about Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Talk about De La Soul. Talk about Poor Righteous Teachers. Talk about X Clan, J Cole, The Roots. Come on, step your game up, Barack. I got all the smoke.
Hey, however, I was at the White House for 1 year. They did the Easter egg roll, and I was there at the White House. And I'll never forget this, because I stopped in my tracks. They had like big speakers playing music out loud or whatever. They didn't play the words, but they were playing. I got 5 on it, instrumental.
He smokes weed.
And I was like, but all I'm saying is like, how cool that was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a balance. I think we get what he was trying to say, but I think in hip hop, especially people our age, we're kind of tired of making it seem like, you know, hip hop is the root of all evil in the hood, or in the schools or whatever. Now, can we improve as people? Absolutely, but I don't know, like it's a balance. It's a balance. It's a lot.
You know what? I tell you what hip hop is. Hip hop is Queen Latifah making it affordable for people to have housing.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't hear about that stuff, and that's frustrating. That's why I'm glad we have this platform that we can bring that out and people become aware. We not only do we talk about it on the show, we post about it. Like we put out a lot of positive news, man. Like let's get with it.
You know what? Hip hop is also Snoop Dogg's youth football league.
Yes.
That's like him and Luke's. Again, sports analogy is not how you start the game, but how you end the game.
Absolutely.
Hip hop is everything positive and some things negative.